Wow. The WBC coddles and panders to Vasyl Lomachenko, who just lost in an embarrassing fashion after months of trash talking against Teofimo Lopez. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Shout out to everybody who used my link. It does help the channel when you guys click on that link. Shout out to everybody in doing such. And I want to make this video before I get started. Use my link still if you're interested in ESPN Plus. The link is in the description of all my videos. ESPN Plus. They have a ton of content, docuseries, documentaries, archive fights for boxing and the UFC. They have a great fight coming up, Justin Gaethje versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. And that's a much anticipated fight. If you want to order that, you can do so by using my link. And again, it does help the channel grow in a phenomenal way. Now, keep this in mind, what you see on the screen from Mauricio Suleiman, the president of the WBC. But before I get into this past article, look at what he put today. On the WBC's official website, they posted this picture of Vasyl Lomachenko. As you guys know, ESPN and ESPN Plus, they aired a unification, lightweight supremacy, Lomachenko and Teofimo. And in case you live under a rock, I'll tell you the outcome. Teofimo won in dominant fashion. You know, Lomachenko, he came on a bit late, but it was too little too late. And 8 hours ago, the WBC on their verified page decided to write a Dear John, Dear Vasyl letter, and it reads, let me go in closer for you guys. Dear Vasily, a defeat does not define a path, and a fall does not change the goal. We know you will come back stronger. So, words of encouragement. Now, at first glance, this may not seem like anything, but you should really take offense to this because the WBC's behavior has proven to be very biased and almost surrounding and catering to certain people. So let me get this straight. Vasyl Lomachenko loses. He walks out of the ring and doesn't do a post-fight interview in the ring and kind of doesn't have that moment and let Teofimo enjoy his moment. And that shows poor sportsmanship to me. Then he goes on record saying that he doesn't know what the judges are talking about. He believes that he beat Teofimo Lopez, which nobody that I've really seen from professional boxers and trainers who have talked about the fight to, just fans of the sport. I didn't really see anyone that thought Lomachenko clearly won. You know, he dug himself an early hole by not throwing enough punches and being timid. And we got to give a lot of credit to the kid Teofimo Lopez because Lomachenko didn't look like that for no reason. It was the boxing IQ, the prowess, and the technique and style and the physical God-gifted attributes that Teofimo possesses that kept Lomachenko at bay. But back to the WBC. Make sure you guys smash the like button. So let me get this straight. Lomachenko loses. He acts like a poor sport. He's a former WBC champion. He lost all of his belts. They franchised him, which is in its, laughable in the world of boxing. Just the whole franchise champion concept. First, it was a designation, and it was non-transferable. Now they're saying the belt is really secretly transferable, and now Teofimo is the franchise champion. Lomachenko didn't fight Devin Haney. So the point I'm making is you're starting to see patterns within the WBC where who they favor is beginning to bleed through and show. And as an organization, I don't know if that's the standpoint that you want. When Deontay Wilder lost to Tyson Fury, people gave Fury credit. But a little bit after, there was this thing called Glovegate 1 and 2, where for various reasons in the first fight and in the second fight, Tyson Fury's gloves seemed to be awry and something was wrong. Especially in the second fight, you look at it looked like padding was removed. Like the gloves had been tampered with or packed down or whatever the situation. You could physically see this in the fight. And this was the WBC's response to an African-American fighter, Deontay Wilder, who had been champion, I think, since 2016, beating Bermane Stiverne, losing to Tyson Fury, who's also with Top Rank, just like Lomachenko. It says Tyson Fury's denial of glove tampering received support from the WBC president, Mauricio Sulaiman. And this track record dates back for a while. There's a clear-cut bias that the WBC continues to show. It's almost to the point where they're not even trying to hide it. You look at situations with another black athlete, Franchon Cruz, Mauricio Sulaiman. Let's try this. So, Franchon Cruz Dezern lost a close fight via split decision to this young lady, Alejandra Jimenez. It was later found out that after winning these belts in controversial fashion, she failed a drug test. Mauricio Sulaiman knows her personally, and he stated this. It says, Mauricio Sulaiman responded to my email Thursday morning. So this is an older article. It says, Jesus, didn't you read our news? I have known her for 7 years. This is what he's saying. I've known her for 7 years. I know her parents. I know her girl. How can you think the WBC would allow something like this? The story didn't say you knew her, so he's like taking it personal. And then this is what was written about someone who failed a drug test. He says, it is shameful and regrettable to read the irresponsible, defamatory, discriminatory, and untrue comments on social media concerning Alejandra Jimenez. Look at it. It says, our proud champion, right? Our proud champion, blah, blah, blah. In a sport like boxing, which it says it's prided itself for being accepting, blah, blah, blah. And look how long it is. The WBC is often questioned, and they're basically going to bat for her, and she failed a drug test, right? So it's like you doing all this drug test, right? Look, WBC vow, quote, unconditional support for Alejandra Jimenez during suspension. So she failed a drug test. And before she failed a drug test, people were making fun of her appearance or something. You went to bat for her. Then after she failed a drug test, you didn't give Franchon Cruz Dezern her belt back, that she lost in a controversial fashion to begin with. But then she definitely should have got her belt back because it was found out that this young lady failed a drug test. And look at what the WBC vowed, quote, unconditional support, right? They did this to Canelo Alvarez, another Hispanic fighter. They're founded out of Mexico, and Canelo's from Mexico. Canelo Alvarez. Let's not beat around the bush. Right? They also gave Canelo a gateway in the past who's failed drug tests before. On February 17th and February 20th, he failed 2 drug tests with clenbuterol. Then they changed the rules. Canelo was Mauricio Sulaiman also said he wanted to see Canelo versus Jermall Charlo, but we can't have it all. So he wants to see it, but then he allowed Canelo to become the franchise champion, just like Lomachenko, who didn't fight Devin Haney. You're saying you want to see Canelo versus Jermall Charlo, but you actually put in a confusing obstacle that pushed Canelo from having to fight his mandatory at the time, Jermall Charlo. It's getting real sad what we're seeing from the WBC. And then, like I said, just look at the behavior. You're writing this Dear John, the WBC as an organization, they're writing this Dear Loma letter because he lost and got whooped by the young Teofimo. Like, hey, keep your head up. Keep your head up. Baby, don't cry. I hope you got your head up. Even when the road is hard, never let, they got this Tupac, keep your head up type message to Lomachenko. But when Wilder, who had been a champion for years with the WBC, he just lost to Tyson Fury, and then people had speculation that Tyson Fury's gloves weren't on the up and up. Mauricio Sulaiman, he immediately rebuked this. He says it's ridiculous. It's difficult to understand. I was present at both fights in the dressing room, right? He said nothing was suspicious. He said, so if you believe that, then you're stupid. You guys could read this. It's very sad because to try to take away something from a huge victory, one of the greatest nights of the sport in the century. So he didn't even do an investigation. He just started backing Tyson Fury and saying, if you believe that something was up with his gloves, you're stupid. No investigation needed. Now he's sending journal notes to Lomachenko because he lost. But when Wilder lost his WBC belt after being one of the longest standing champions in boxing, we didn't really see this energy from the WBC and Mauricio Sulaiman towards the African-American fighter, right? When Alejandra Jimenez failed a drug test, you were all in the WBC to petition and back her, right? When Canelo failed a drug test, you said, I believe Canelo, right? Look, let me see if I can find it. WBC president Sulaiman talks Canelo's positive drug test, right? And he backed Canelo and says it was a mistake, and he believes Canelo's reasoning about the tainted meat. It's all right here. It's all there. But then when Wilder loses, you just say people are stupid if they believe that Tyson Fury is even capable of cheating. Not a good look. When Jermell Charlo, another African-American fighter, when he actually lost in controversial fashion, did we see this from the WBC? This whole stay stronger, you're a warrior, we love you, a true champion knows how to bounce back. So why does Lomachenko get this special treatment? Jermell Charlo, a lot of people thought he didn't even lose the fight to Tony Harrison. I was at that fight in New York. That was for the WBC belt. And he lost. I remember Jermell Charlo was so shaken up by it. He cried in the back at the post-fight. He was like, man, I hate losing. I don't feel like I lost that fight, blah, blah, blah. But Lomachenko loses, it's the end of the world. Old media is looking bad. Shout out to Teofimo. He did a number on Lomachenko. He did a number. Young, gifted, swaggy. Let's go. Shout out to Teofimo. I don't know what the WBC is doing. It looks like they're on a quest to make their organization raise eyebrows and look more and more suspect. I'm not sure. They're talking about Deontay Wilder and people under a certain weight are not going to be considered heavyweights anymore. More confusion. They're saying that the franchise champion is a designation and it's a slot that nobody else can get. But then now you see Teofimo with the WBC belt because they made an exception, and now he's the franchise champion. They didn't allow African-American fighters like Devin Haney to get a crack at Lomachenko and have this moment that you see Teofimo rejoicing with his team. They didn't allow Jermall Charlo, who's been calling out Canelo for years, to get his moment to see what he can do and try to sell out Texas with Canelo. It's sad. So we'll see what's next. I hope the PBC comes out with their own belt. I hope Wilder beats Tyson Fury in the third fight because I'm very curious to see his response and his relationship with the WBC based on, in my opinion, how they're reacting and how they're treating the situation. I can't wait. But I thought this was, it's just like they're babying and coddling and trying to pander to Lomachenko because he lost. People lose every day, B. Lomachenko, and I don't understand why people are acting so surprised. He has less than 20 fights, 14-2. He has less than 17 fights, and he already has 2 losses. Listen, I'm just telling you what it is. I'm no filter, you know, still being professional, but I'm just telling you cut and dry what it is. How he has less than 20 fights and he already lost twice. Why are people acting like this is unbelievable? Like they can't believe it. We've already watched him lose again. You know, he could be a good dude, but fighters lose all the time. Wilder just lost, and that warranted an investigation, which the WBC failed to do. So it's weird the WBC is doing this and quick to pick sides and jump in and chime in for certain fighters and certain organizations and stuff, but we don't see that unilaterally across the board. When Franchon Cruz-Dezurn should have got her belt back because her opponent cheated and failed a drug test, we didn't see. We seen the WBC pledge the innocence of Alejandra Jimenez. But you're telling us she's innocent. You're telling us Canelo's innocent. But how do you know what people are doing behind closed doors? How do you know if someone did drugs or if they didn't do drugs? Like, I have a lot of people that watch my channel. I can't tell you what everybody does in their spare time, or if they snort coke or smoke weed. I don't know what people are doing. If they're abusive, I don't, you know what I'm saying? So how does the WBC know if these athletes are doing stuff in training camp? But for whatever reason, the WBC, they have chosen to get involved in these situations. And, you know, now this is an extension of it, showing Lomachenko, like, I guess sympathy is a word for it. But I'm asking, where's that same sympathy when other fighters have lost, like Wilder? And then people think the opponent cheated, or Franchon Cruz-Dezurn. Why did it take so long? It's just looking bad, bro. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.